Hi, everybody. Good evening. Glad you're here. um, I guess before we begin, does anyone who was at the retreat, does anyone have any comments or questions about that? It's been 10 days or so since we did it. Anybody? Okay. All right. Um, okay, this is the second to the last gathering this year. And also I'll be taking a break until early January. I haven't looked at that date, but it's probably the first Wednesday in January. And then we'll go again. Um, so I'll send out an email with that information too, but just reminding you. So tonight we're going to do our usual, and we're also going to focus on stability, or what my teacher Trisha Yu would call rootedness, rootedness. And you probably know or are familiar with the Buddhist teaching, that the path is a left foot, right foot, left foot, right foot, in breath, out breath, in breath. So this is how it moves. And in terms of that, the path is often described as the path of wisdom, and compassion, um, or from a little more Taoist point of view, it would be form and boundlessness. Uh, so uh, form has to do with stability. So we're cultivating stability in our body, in our minds, in the moment, in the world, um, so that we can realize insight. Okay, and that's the boundlessness part. That's the mental part, is the awakening part, the insight. Uh, so Thich Nhat Hanh teaches, solid as a mountain, and fresh as the dew. So there's the two. They're the two, and they repeat a lot in the literature and the practices. And Qigong practices, I wouldn't say you can divide them into sort of rooting practice and opening practice, which is how Trisha described them, because all of them are both, but there are certain gradations of those two aspects. So let's put this on the view. So the intention here is not so much, not just twisting, but sinking. That's really what drives it. There's an up and down. When we look at this, it looks like it's a left and right. Um, it's also up and down. So the down is the rooting. And in terms of animals, Qigong is based on certain animals. This is the bear. The bear is very heavy. Okay, so just noticing the weight, the pressure, I should say, on the bottoms of the feet. And then once you really sort of feel this movement, now let's bring the focus to the breath. And you want to orchestrate this so that the movement is in time with the breath. Okay, so the out breath that's the sinking down. And the in breath is when you push up, because there's a pushing up following the sinking down. Okay, good. So body and breath. And mind, you can really affect the mood profoundly just by smiling a little bit. Why would we smile? Well, we smile because of a million reasons, but we smile because we're doing this practice and we're able to do it. And it feels good. And we know we're benefiting from this because we're pumping the lymph with the legs and with the under the arms. And just smiling. So that little smile, that brings body, breath, and mind into harmony, just like that. Okay, very good. Let's reduce some movements. So just a little comment about smiling. Smiling is very important part of spiritual practice. We don't smile the smile of a fool who thinks that everything in the world is great. We're smiling to the moment, to the present moment. We know there's suffering in the world. We know there's all kinds of confusion and difficulty and so on. We're aware of that. And in the midst of that, we're smiling in this moment. Okay? So go ahead and form the either standing mountain or standing one position. And just as we coordinated the twisting, the rooting movement with the breath, we're actually coordinating the standing movement with the breath too. So you're standing, you're aware of the breath, you're feeling it, and maybe the heartbeat as well. And again, one way to involve the mind is just to smile a little bit. Wow, I'm breathing. Okay, very good. Um, let's go ahead and do the backwash and the tree and spring. This is very much involved in rooting because we're actually, with the backwash, we start with our attention up here, up at the crown of the head. What they call the heavenly gate. We start there and we fold in, let the chin come down, let the chest get soft. We're folding in and just giving into gravity. When you're bent over, check to see that your weight is still very evenly distributed on your feet, that you're not tipped forward. Okay, let's come up together. Tree and spring. So this is forming a bond between the earth and the body. We're pointing and then up, out. One, down to the earth, up the inside of the body. Out, up, 2, 3. And before we go into the next set, just form the standing one for a moment. And feeling the pressure on the bottoms of the feet and bringing the attention to the Laogon point, the bubbling well, which is just behind the balls of the feet in the middle of the foot. So if you touch your fingers on your palm right there, where your fingertips touch your palm, that would be on your foot. That would be the place. Okay. So there's two special points there. And then we can now use our mind to extend our attention down through those bubbling wells, down into the earth, and feel and imagine as if we had roots. So our center of gravity gets low. Okay, all right, very good. Now bring the attention all the way up, center line, up to the crown, and we'll do the next one. Okay, let's come up. Okay, this is the movement, the expression. Then this is the stability. before we do the next one. Okay. And now again, we're moving our attention, moving the chi up, out, around, out breath. Don't get lost in the movement. We're also still. This is the still point. Okay. And one more. Very good. And then pause. Okay. So in this position, the elbows slightly bent and palms are partly facing each other. Okay. And from the ground, we can dip the knees a little bit and bring the attention up, 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 up. And third one. As you come up, bring the attention up through the body, the middle of the body. Okay, 1, 2, 3. Okay, so our gaze is about a 45-degree angle toward the ground in this one. And let's go ahead and loosen up a little bit. Head, neck, shoulders. All right, and then maybe open the stance a little, and then so this moving to the middle dantian. Let's do one more. Okay, down to standing 1. And this is a meditation posture, just like sitting. So notice the sensations in the body, pressure, tingling, warmth, and any others. Now we're going to use the mind, use the imagination, project down into the earth, but bring, along with that projection, bring the sense of feeling, of touch. Feel down into the earth. Let the roots spread out. Very good. Okay. Now bring the attention up the middle of the body. We're going to go into standing 2 position. So this is holding the moon, the full moon, and also the crescent moon at the level of the heart area. The elbows are bent. And so this is a practice of keeping the head, the stability that we had in standing 1. Now we're raising attention up higher in the body and maintaining that heavy rootedness. So in the mind, we're bringing the attention to the hands and to the chest, the middle dantian, and also down into the earth, as if we were still in standing position one. Okay, able to do that. So the mind is maybe it'll flick back and forth from the heaviness of the body and into the earth and so on, and then up to the chest, the heart, the hands. Maybe there's sort of a flickering of your attention as you're being aware of both, and then just let that just merge into one, into the whole body. So holding these postures for a set number of breaths, count your breaths and start with 10, will very quickly develop a strong sense of stability, presence in the body, particularly as you start getting a little discomfort in your shoulders or somewhere, and yet you continue to stand. You breathe through the discomfort. It's not going to hurt you. It's just there, and yet still you stand. Okay. All right, very good. Let's go back to standing one. Okay, breathing crane. This is the first crane movement. Through the palms of our hands, we're bringing attention to the abdomen. And let the abdomen be very soft. Let it expand easily. And as it expands, it pushes the hands out a little. As it relaxes, the hands come back. So you exaggerate it a little bit. Okay. And we're expanding forwards and left, right, and back like a balloon all around. And this is the breathing crane. Couple more breaths. Okay, very good. Back to standing. Okay. Now, when we're ready, now we can extend this through imagination, extend this and through feeling Extend this line up, 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 from the center of the earth, up through the belly, through the chest, through the neck, through the brain, through the top of the head, and then up. We're using the eyes, way up, and then back down. So this is our central vertical axis. Okay. So with the in-breath, sort of brighten that up. And with the out-breath, just relax the body around it. The image is if you have a coat tree and you hang a very heavy overcoat on it. The coat tree is straight up, the vertical, and then the coat is the heavy body. Okay. Okay, very good. Very good. So we've got this heaviness, we've got the rootedness, the bear, and the vertical alignment as the posture. Okay, good. Now, let's go ahead and do the C crane. We're going to keep what we have, what we've gained, and now we're going to form the arms. And now this is the part that takes attention. So that vertical line is between the feet, goes right through the body. Now we're going to shift to one side so that vertical line is directly over the foot and the other foot is empty. Okay. And then step forward with no weight. Sink down. Very good. Now we're going to fold the wings in and step back. Shift the weight. Unfold the wings, step forward. And if we check in with the posture, it's the same as it was when we were double weighted. Okay, step back, fold in, open up, step forward. You could just put the toe on the ground or the ball of the foot. Could be a little tiny bit of weight in it, but we're sinking onto the weighted foot. And we're just as grounded and rooted as when we're double weighted. Okay, step back, fold in, shift the weight, step forward. If you're very confident, you can lift the unweighted foot. Okay, now place it back, shift, fold in. Good, step out. Okay, very steady, very stable. Good, all right. Step back, fold in, shift. Okay, let's step back and fold in and go back to standing one. So we want to do that for obvious reasons. So we keep our balance. It's very important. It's also that we can remain stable even when conditions are not perfect. So conditions are perfect when you're standing with 2 feet, right? Conditions are perfect for standing stable. When you're standing on 1 foot, you're making it much harder, yet you're still stable, okay? So mentally, that means, well, I can do this. So when something happens in my life that throws me off, I can find my stability, okay? And dropping the attention down. Okay. Let's do the Taiji twist again. If you're feeling unstable, emotionally or mentally or physically, if you're feeling vulnerable, confused, these are the practices to bring balance, to restore balance. Okay. Okay. Now tree in autumn. So take a moment to reestablish the posture and the mental awareness of this vertical. Okay. So we're going to go up. So first we go down, up. Tree in autumn. Down into the roots. Okay. If we imagine and feel that we are like a tree and have roots into the ground, every time we do this, our attention goes way down into the ground. Eyes follow the hands, out breath. Okay, last one. Let's do this one more slowly. Okay, very good. Now, so we have standing mountain. Let's go into trembling mountain. And so there's an overwhelm here. We're overloading ourselves with stimulation. In the midst of that, can you notice the breathing? Can you notice the posture? Still here. Can you drop your mind down into the earth while you're doing this? So remember, this is trembling mountain. So it's easy to be overwhelmed by the trembling. We want to also remember the mountain. Okay, the mountain is the body. What is it that's moving? And the mountain is an extension of the earth itself. Okay, just a little more. Are you ready? Okay, and then just reduce the movement. Tingling, warmth, pressure, and stability. The core. And reestablish the vertical, the connection to the earth through the body and up into the universe. Reestablish that. Very good. All right. Now the mountain stands through all weather, wind, rain, snow. So let's go into cloud, wave hands through clouds. Now, the tendency here is to focus on the hands and the arms. But remember, the hands are opposite the center line of the body. The upper hand, that's the heart. The lower hand, that's the belly. Okay. So as we turn, switch, bring the attention to the body. The hands they're just expressing. Okay. Bring the attention into the body. Feel the weight shift. Feel the up and down. The posture remains the same. Okay, the body is heavy, the body's twisting, sinking, rising up a little. The hands are just clouds blowing by the mountain. The body's the mountain. With the breath, reduce the movements. Okay, bring the attention to the core. Now, bring the hands to the body. So the warmth has two meanings. One is temperature, But the other is emotional warmth or love. This is reassuring the body that it is loved. Okay, back to standing. So the mind just naturally reconstructs this vertical. Aware of the breath. And now let's, keeping this stability here, let's dip the knees and let's go up to the next, so standing 3. So now the tendency is to bring our attention up to our forehead and our hands and so on. And that's fine, window to the moon. So we're breathing in through the hands and through the forehead, breathing in into the body. At the same time we're doing this, maintain the awareness of standing mountain. The body's the mountain. And the moonlight is just shining on the mountain. And the mountain goes down, way down into the earth. If you want, you can sit down a little bit, widen your stance just a little, and sit down. That will make this a little more of a workout for the thighs. So the moonlight's coming in, it's very, very, very light. And the body is very, very heavy. And the moonlight filters down through the whole body, down to the earth. If it gets a little difficult, that's okay. Take a few more breaths. One more. Okay, come back up and around. Still the stability of the body. There's also the stability of the breath. It keeps coming and going. And of the mind, the attention is even. Okay, very good. Let's go ahead and take our seat. The Taoists teach meditation in a sitting position. The Buddhists tend to teach it in a cross-legged, on a cushion position. But either way, the upper body is the same. The Taoists like to have the bottoms of the feet fully in contact with the floor. So in Qigong, the name of this is sitting mountain. If you need to throw the thinking mind a bone, you can count your breaths. Count a pair of breaths is one, and count to 4 and repeat, or count to 8 and repeat. Doesn't matter. And the focus is any physical touch sensation. Can be the tongue in the mouth, can be the pressure on your seat or on your feet or your skin, anything that involves a sense of touch. And that includes the breath. So there are actually many things to focus on. And focus the attention on the pressure. You can focus the attention on the posture, on the tingling on the skin, anywhere inside the body. You can, using the mind, extend down into the earth. That's feeling, still feeling. You can do a body scan if you want to be organized about it. So the attention is anywhere that you feel. There are a lot of options. And the counting just sort of, it's quiet, it fades into the background. The expansion and relaxation of the body at the belly or chest, the torso. Perhaps your heartbeat. If thinking occurs, you can just say, I'll think about that later. And of course, you can smile a little bit. If you want to contemplate, where did this body come from? Where were the elements in this body 100 years ago? Does this body have a life of its own? How is this body connected to other living beings? And finally, the preciousness of this body. This body is what enables us to have a life. And gratitude for this body.
Ready for connecting. Connected.
Okay, very good. Let's take a few more breaths. And just notice the presence of this body. Okay. These practices bring on a sense of what one teacher calls imperturbability. Thoughts may arise and pass away, but to a mountain, it's just a bird flying by. Stability. Okay, let's go ahead and move a little bit. Loosen up, relax. Okay, so on the count of three, let's clap. 1, 2, 3. We carry a lot of tension in our jaw, upper jaw, and our temple area, and so on. Okay. And tap the kidneys. Massage the kidneys. Okay. So maybe, just notice if you're distraught, distracted, spaced out, unbalanced. That's fine. And then just Just use any of these practices just to come into this ancient, stable, physical presence. Okay, well, thank you for practicing. Really appreciate you joining me. And if you'd like to stay and talk a little bit, that's fine. And if you have other things to do, you can do that.